Got it.
Live.
All right, we're live. Awesome. Okay.
Hi.
Hello. Okay, great. Okay, we're live. Let me see if I can share this into the Facebook. Can I do that? It's okay, I'll figure it out later. Okay. Hello everybody, and today we are live again. Today our topic is about 2021 property, whether is it too expensive? Is it too expensive? Well, one thing's for sure, prices are not going down, right? And today, what we saw in Pasir Ris, it is really crazy. I think they're like 70, 80, or even 90% sold, I think, right? It's because the take-up rate for Pasir Ris is really high, because for the last, I think, like maybe five years at least, there isn't any new properties around, right? And it's one of the first integrated, or rather it's the only integrated transport hub in Pasir Ris area lah. All right, so is property prices getting too expensive today? Bibi, what do you think?
It is.
Really? Is it too expensive? Why?
Too expensive for normal human beings like us lah.
Of course, but also we have to think about relative to the real estate land bid prices, right? Whether or not is it too expensive based on those land bid price. Because why? Land bid price essentially is like, how to say, 好像 it's like 面包 and 面粉, you know? The more expensive the 面粉 is, right? And your eggs and your flour, right? Flour is 面粉, right? Then and like your sugar and all
it's
that.
The ingredient that you make the bread lah, right?
Absolutely. Anything that is your ingredients, right? They make your bread. As long as any one of those are more expensive, right? Generally speaking, your 面包, your final product, your bread will always be more expensive, right? Yeah. And so in a sense, we can take a look at some of the land bid prices that is happening recently, right? Maybe I just see if I can do a quick share. Let's see. Okay, let's share content, share screen. All right, let's take a look. Okay. Now, recently, there's been a record land bid price for Tampines EC, right, in the Lentor residential site. Okay, so if you look at this piece of land, right, this will be an EC land, right? The site area, right? The two site areas is actually over here, 2.37 hectares and 1.72 hectares respectively.
Where is this located?
This is at Tampines block.
Where is it? Near the MRT station or not?
Not. It's not even near the MRT station actually, right? In fact, it's actually, if you see closely, right, it's actually quite a distance away from Pasir Ris MRT station. Right? Even though what you see is the Pasir Ris MRT, right, but it's actually towards the Tampines side, right, after the Tampines Expressway. Okay, so in a sense, this is the land bid getting more expensive, but let's break it down into smaller parts. Okay, now if you look at this Lentor Central, right, Lentor Central is actually here. Lentor is actually near Yio Chu Kang area, right? This one. I'm not sure if I can circle. Here you are, right? Yio Chu Kang station. So it's still it's a very big distance away from Yio Chu Kang MRT. Similarly, the Pasir Ris one, right, is actually very far away from the MRT station, right? And typically close to MRT equals to more expensive, right? Now let's take a look. Okay. Now, if we take a look at the breakdown of these prices, the winning bid actually is at this price. Maybe I change to red color. This price. But what does this mean? How do I stop it? Right. Now, this means that for this Tampines site, right, Tampines EC site, right, if you look at the price based on the land bid at 658 PSF, this means the break even, right, is actually at 1135 PSF. And this is for EC, all right? And we're talking about break even, right? With 10% profit, right, you're going to look at least 1248 PSF for EC, we're not even talking about condos.
Oh, that's pretty high.
That's ridiculously high because why? I think when we just entered real estate, right? There's this EC called 100 pounds, right? 100 pounds was going like averagely about 850 PSF. And during that time, 850 PSF is considered very expensive already. And yet, how long was it sold? This EC 100 pounds. It sold within 6 hours.
Wow.
By the way, 850 PSF in 4 years ago in 2017, right, is considered a record high. Like record high. There's never been EC that's so expensive before. Right? And yet, 6 hours it was sold out. Right? So you see, the thing about how property prices are, right, it really is largely dependent on the land bid. If the land bid increases, right, that increases the property price as well, right? And because we are, in a sense, we are an island and we are so small, right? Do you think we will sooner or later run out of land?
Yeah, that's of course.
Yeah, exactly. So because of course our government has actually did like land lease, they are 99 years, so that there's always a renewal of land use, right? But the thing is, we are very small. So with our population increasing, right, and demand for land is getting more and more, right? There isn't any sense for prices to actually go very far down, So let's take a look at how do I close this down? There you go. Right, and then this is our Pasir Ris 8 today.
Oh my god.
Can you see the number of sold?
Yeah,
Today
it's going so fast.
Yeah, exactly. Today is day one,
Wow.
It's crazy.
Did you bought a unit there as well, Jason?
No, I did not. I think they were going for average of about 1,006, 1,007 PSF, right? And for most of the units, and then the take-up rate is like as you see, is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Right, but if we look at 1,006 PSF, it may seem higher, but the thing is, if you compare it to prices of the past, right, of course it's high, right? Just like if you were to look at a one-bedroom condo just 3 years ago, 600,000, definitely no problem. You can definitely buy a piece of property at 600,000, right? But then after that, right, now, right, can you find properties that are 600,000? I don't think so. It's gonna.
Yeah, actually, it's not
impossible.
right compared to like
It's impossible.
today's market.
Yeah, absolutely. So
yeah,
maybe we can check out let's see if we can see some of the past land bid prices. What's that? Each prop. Let me just do a quick login.
Mm.
Logged in yet? Great. So as an agent, right, when we have tools like this, we definitely want to make full use of it. And one of the things we can do is go and see what the land sale prices are to determine what developer prices are. Right, like I mentioned, if you look at £100, you see, last time the break-even price, right, was about 693. So the developers being developers, right, they have to make money. So the break-even is about 693. And then what they do is they want to sell at a profit. So the average sales became like about 850. Right, 1 year later, right, there's another EC called River Cove Residence. This was when I just started real estate, right? River Cove, there you go. Anchorville EC sold, completely sold by the way now. Right, 686, right? Similar to £100, but this one, right, because it's a year later, they actually sold about average of about 900 to 950 PSF, right? And then after the same thing, it was sold. 1 year later, we have Piedmont Grand. Piedmont Grand, the break-even price, right, was 300 PSF more expensive than the River Cove EC. So logically speaking, right, when the land becomes so expensive, right, do you think they will definitely sell it a lot more expensive also?
Of course.
So that's the reason why if you look at Piedmont Grand today, right, today Piedmont Grand is selling at about 1,001 PSF. 1,001 PSF. And we are talking about 960 PSF per plot ratio, right? And they are going for 1,000 to 1,001. There are some units actually at 1,002 PSF even. This we're talking about ECs, by the way, just purely ECs, right? And then now we have this we have the Tampines one today, right? Look at the Tampines one. The break even, right, is 230 plus PSF, higher than almost 200 PSF higher than the previous Piedmont Grand at 900. And by the way, if you recall 2 years ago when Piedmont Grand just launched that time, 960 PSF, is it a record price? It's a crazy record price. Why? Because the previous one, right, River Cove EC, right, it's only 696 PSF.
Yeah.
Right? Don't you see that? Like, these land bids are getting higher. So when land bids are getting higher, break-even prices are getting higher, do you think developer will sell at a lower price? No, it cannot be one. It cannot be that developers will sell lower price, right? So and then we compare with this we have Lentor's price point. Right. Let me see. Look. Now the in the future, right, you can see over here. You see this part. The potential price of this let me just cancel this. Right. The future price of this Lentor, right, will soon be this price. Can you see? 109. Yeah, 1,950 to 2,000 PSF.
Wow, just for an EC?
No, this one is a condo, but it's at Yio Chu Kang area.
Oh, okay. That's crazy lah.
Yeah, you see, the thing I'm trying to get at, right, is that you look at the distance between Yio Chu Kang MRT as well as the actual land price in this development. The distance is many streets away. It's very far away, you know? And yet the selling price is going to be 1,950 to 2,000 PSF. Now, knowing this, in a Yio Chu Kang area, Yio Chu Kang, Ang Mo Kio Yio Chu Kang area, not say super popular area also, right? But if we look at that, suddenly we see if you know this price is the future price, right? 1,950 is the future price in the future, right? Suddenly, right, 1,600, 1,700 suddenly become very cheap already. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
1,600, 1,700. Is super cheap, you know. Because why? This is what is an integrated development. And integrated development, right, essentially means that you have the residential area, right? And then you have the bottom part, which is fully commercial, right? Or retail, like Watertown Point, Bedok Residences, you know. And then after that, right below you have the buses, the bus interchange. And then right after that, right below that, you have the MRT. Essentially, right, is the maximum convenience. You cannot get any more convenient than this, you know?
Yeah.
So when you look at property prices as of today, I tell you, it's the same every year. Every year, right, is too expensive.
Correct.
Right, because there's never gonna be a time where people say, hey, this year the property are very cheap. Have you heard that before?
Yeah.
Don't have, right? Like, would you ever even say property price is very cheap?
No, never.
Never ever, right? You'll never ever say that. But when will you actually think it's cheap? When it
Few
is
years down the road.
Yes, exactly. Few years down the road, right? You will think that today is super cheap. Similarly, today.
Why I didn't get it like few years back, right?
Exactly. Similarly, today, right, you will think that last couple of years ago, right, is super cheap. And those people that bought like 5 years ago, right, they will think, 10 years ago, it was very cheap.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the key is because of the fundamentals of real estate. It's basically the fundamentals of why property price increase is not so much on supply and demand. Supply and demand is a very important factor, of course, right? But more importantly, right, it is the inflation. When land increases, property price increase in the end. Why? Because land consists of, or rather a property development consists of land, it consists of materials, it consists of labor, right? Labor, and also labor, when you talk about labor, right, it's not just workers' wages. No. Workers' wages, they increase over time as well. Especially so for today, right, where the workers are getting, there's a worker manpower crunch. There's not enough people, right? So when not enough people, right, means what? The construction cost will definitely increase because every developer is demanding for more workers, right? So labor costs will increase. The food that they eat also increase because of inflation, right? Even the coffee they drink, right? Let's say the every day they get a packet of coffee, right? And in 10 years ago, a coffee cost probably like, I don't know, 80, 90 cents, right? But now a packet of coffee probably costs you at least 130 or 140. Right, in some more atas places, probably 160 for a packet of coffee. It's ridiculous, but it is what it is, right? So all these costs add up to the property development. So when in the end, when a completed property is sold, right, to consumers like you and me, it will become more expensive. right? And then as land bid gets more expensive, the developers that bought 3 years, 4 years, even 5 years ago, right? As a developer, you will definitely want to sell more expensive, right? It cannot be if your competitors are selling more expensive, right? You guai sit there and sell cheap, it doesn't make sense. Just like if let's say you own a piece of property, right? And then if your neighbor sells for sky high prices, wouldn't you expect to at least reach somewhere near to where your neighbors are selling?
Yeah, true.
Right? So it actually makes a lot of sense how important it is, right, to think about property price not as of today. You have to look at what property price will become in the near future, right? When developers are bidding, we have how many? Just now, how many bidders? 9 bids, right? 9 bids for one single piece of land. Right? Do you think the developers, right, are, in a sense, it cannot be their dumb, right? It cannot be their dumb. They definitely have done their research. They definitely know that by bidding at this land, right, they got to sell at a certain price, right? And they have to be confident to sell at a certain price, because we're not talking about $1 or $2 million. We're talking about $784 million into the piece of land. Do you think the developers will definitely put a lot of consideration?
Definitely.
Yeah, absolutely. So if all these developers, right, are bidding for $600-700 million, and putting it down into the land bid, right? Definitely, they would have made their calculations and decide, okay, this is the price where I will buy the piece of land, and then after that I will sell it at an even higher price. And when people have no other land to buy, and the only places to buy are places like this, right? You got no choice. Sooner or later you have to accept the price, And when more people accept the price, it becomes a norm. Then it becomes whoever that has bought in the past, right, would have made money, right? Because they are the one with the property, they bought it many years ago,
Yeah.
right? And those people that did not buy a property, right, they will come to see, why property suddenly becomes so expensive, And then after you suddenly feel like, it doesn't make sense to buy a property anymore. So this is what we call pricing out of the market. Yeah. Right? Okay. So in short, I think I want to leave the viewers watching, right, with this, right? It's very important all the time, right? It's not about timing the market, right? It's about how much time you spend in the market. The longer you are invested into the market, all you need to do is to ride along the flow of property and ride along inflation, right? And then you will see yourself profiting as long as the decision is made smartly, right? It's important to stay invested. Yeah. Okay. Cool. So, Bibi, are you gonna buy a property soon?
Yeah, I'm going to buy.
What are you gonna buy? Are you gonna buy Pasir Ris 8? Can you go and buy Pasir Ris 8?
East would be good lah. East.
Yeah.
I'm comfortable in the East already.
That's awesome. So why didn't you go for Pasir Ris 8? You see so many people
how
buying.
about I buy your toilet? I invest in your toilet.
Invest in the Pasir Ris 8 toilet. We got money.
That one is like almost sold out, right?
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's too late already. Almost sold out.
Oh my goodness.
Did you secretly go and buy?
No, I didn't. But I cannot believe there's so many people buying it. It's quite scary, Like to look at the movement of this property. It's amazing. It's really amazing.
I think a lot of people realize that it's good to hold on to a property rather than they don't have any property at all.
Yeah, that's a very good point. Absolutely agree. Yeah. Right, cool. Okay, so this concludes our Saturday Night Live. Right, if you guys have any questions, please do ask us at any point of time. We hope that today we actually answered some of the questions regarding whether or not property price is too expensive today. Right? Okay, so next week we'll have another topic as usual. Right? Hopefully we have more people joining in, and next week is the week where Jocelyn cannot siam already. She'll be
Yeah,
hosting a
no. She
topic.
said episode 100. Okay, you don't force her, okay?
Episode 10. Episode 10. Today I already helped her, you see.
100.
All right, so
I
stay
will
tuned
tell her
for
later.
next week's Saturday Night Live. All right, see you guys. Bye. Stop. Let me stop.